Hello, welcome to Our Generation with Melissa Shaw, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And I am so excited about my guest today. But I just want to give all of my followers and supporters a shout out. And my sponsor, Project Our Generation, which is my nonprofit, have to shout that out because we are definitely moving and doing some things coming the new year. So I'm excited about what's going to happen with that. And just want to encourage everyone as we end the new year, really think about your goals for next year. And not necessarily just goals, but really things that you want to accomplish. And start out with small goals, do quarterly goals. Those things are so important to do because sometimes we can get overwhelmed with having extreme long term goals that seem so far off that we don't feel like we can achieve them. But if we do quarterly goals, then they seem more achievable. So I'm actually in Louisville today, which I'm excited about. I actually traveled here to interview my millionaire mentor, and that is huge for me. And also, he invited me to this finance meeting that's going to really give me some insight on business and how to really take my finances and business to the next level. So I encourage ones to position yourself and put yourself around people that are going to help you win and that are willing to give you the knowledge, not just talk about it. Welcome. We are with my mentor, Mr. James Kelly.
Well,
I'm
hello.
super excited. Like you literally was on my show last year, probably a couple months after I had started.
Yeah,
And to have you on and to see what you've accomplished and to be able to be a part of that is huge for me.
yeah.
So I just like tell the people like how'd you do it? Like tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Oh man, well, this is good. Number one, just to have somebody that is as close to me as I feel like you are, but to still have you at a distance. As a business builder, right? Somebody who wants to put their fingerprint on the entire United States. You represent a part of the growth and the development, and to have leaders in layers in all different places. And so,
Absolutely.
we're honored and privileged to have somebody that is as powerful as you are as a part of our organization, right?
Thank you.
And my name is James Kelly. For those of you who I'm just meeting for the very first time, Kanita and I actually started in business in the barbering industry, and we were in our early 20s, and we're trying to figure out life
Mm-hmm.
and entrepreneurship, and how to be professionals and be partners all at the same time. And a friend of mine introduced us to Legal Shield when I was 27, and it
Wow.
literally revolutionized the way that I was going to live my entrepreneurial life.
Mm.
And so I'm grateful, right? Number one, pick up the phone, right? Answer the call, because you never
Right. You
know
never know.
when the next opportunity is going to
I
come,
tell
that could
people
the
that
next
all the time.
idea that could change your life forever.
Yeah.
And so at 27, as an African American male in today's tumultuous society, I knew that if I didn't have a seat at the legal table, that I would probably continue to be on the menu.
That's real talk.
Yeah. And so Legal Shield gave us a seat at the table, and then they told us that we could start pulling up a seat for other people.
Yeah.
And that's where they messed up and showed me the money.
Right.
Right.
That's everyone loves it when you say that. No, for real, y'all done messed up because I'm gonna get all them
I'm
coins.
gonna get all the coins, right? Yeah. So, but they showed me a new way to make money, spend less time doing it, help
Hmm.
more people at the exact same time, and to be
Yeah,
making a difference and making an additional living at the exact same time.
that's huge. So,
Yeah.
what really piqued your interest with the company? I know the money part, but what was it about the service itself that really impressed you?
Yeah. Well, because I had gone through some legal situations, I've never, gotten in any trouble or anything of that nature, but just some day to day situations that I knew probably the outcome could have been better
Mm.
if I just had a big brother, a big sister
Mm.
who knew better, right? My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother used to say all the time, if you know better, you should do better.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
Legal Shield was like having wisdom that I didn't have the money to afford,
Mm.
but putting us in a position where we can now get access to information and the professionals that allowed us to be able to make better business and financial decisions in our day-to-day life. And
Yeah.
one decision in your life can accelerate it 5 to 10 years, or one
Mm-hmm.
bad decision with a lack of information could
Mm-hmm.
take you back, right, and hold you
Definitely.
captive for another 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had made a few mistakes, so Legal Shield just made a big difference because I could have access to top quality professionals and not have to worry about the high hourly cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to somebody the other day, like, rich people, they don't move without a lawyer.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so there's such a disconnect.
Yeah,
But now knowing about Legal Shield and the services, that bridges that gap. Like
absolutely.
there's no longer a reason for you to say you can't afford it because you can't, especially
Correct.
if you know about it.
That's right.
Now, if you don't know, that's our job to educate you.
That's right.
And I
We got
tell,
some work to do.
yeah, and I tell you, it's a new concept because,
Yeah.
like you said, people think, you didn't use it because you got in trouble. You
Right.
used it for everyday life.
That's right.
And when people think of legal, they think of, oh, I don't get in trouble, I don't need it.
So true.
But when you really start going down the list and start really looking at things, you're like, oh, I did need that in this
In
situation.
this
I did
situation.
need that, but because it was nothing talked about, it wasn't you wasn't taught that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't afford a lawyer. Basically, that's what we was taught. You can't afford a lawyer,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So those aren't the ones you want to talk to.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I'll never forget my first situation, going to court over child support and child custody, and my estranged counterpart, who is now my wife. Right. It's a whole nother story. So y'all have to get the book to see how it
Oh
all
my
came
goodness,
together.
I
Right.
love that.
So I walked into court thinking that I was in the right. I had all my documents, all the different stuff, and I didn't have an attorney though. I'm a professional. I feel like I can handle things on my own. But she walks into the courtroom and she has an attorney,
Mm.
and so the judge allows us to go ahead and start. I'm getting ready to speak, and the judge says, "Well, ho, ho, ho." Right? I can't hear from you yet. I need to listen to the attorney first. And that was my first
Wow.
introduction to seeing the difference. Not who was right or wrong,
Mm.
but who actually had the authority in that environment to work in. And ended up not going the way that it probably should have, just because I
Yeah.
didn't have proper representation in that season of my life. And so
Wow.
thankfully everything came full circle and we were able to work it out. But in so many cases,
No, definitely.
yeah, it goes awry, right?
Yep.
And we have to pay tuition for what I call tuition is education in those
No,
situations, right?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it could happen for a very long time.
Yeah, and that makes me think of why Mr. Stonecipher created the company.
Absolutely.
Because he was in a situation where someone sued him when
Yeah.
it was their fault.
Yeah.
We see that happen all the time. Clear your bank account out trying to represent yourself. And what do you do now? Like you
Absolutely.
broke and ain't got no car and like
Yes. Bad things happen to good people all the time.
all the time.
But what we do about it makes all the difference in the world. So
Mhm.
yeah, so thankful to be a part of that mission now and
Yeah.
that rich tradition and history of education and empowerment, which is what we get a
Absolutely.
chance to do every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you made $1 million. How does that feel? Like when you first started, like, did you continue barbering when you first
Yes,
started?
I did. Yeah. So for about 2 years, I still continued to build my barbering business full time. Yeah, and then was able to walk away because of the income that we were making with Legal Shield. Retired Kaneetha our first year, probably a little premature, right? So for the
Mhm.
entrepreneurs that are listening, multiple streams of income is how we get ahead in life. And because I set the expectation for where business was about to go,
Mm.
I probably shut our businesses down just a little bit too soon because I put pressure on our business. So when you ask me, what does it feel like to have made $1 million? Right. Well, number one, it's a major accomplishment. Only 300 people out of the hundreds of thousands of people that have joined Legal Shield
Wow.
have reached this pinnacle accomplishment in their tenure or in their journey. So it is. There's a feeling of elation to
Yeah.
actually separate ourselves
Mhm.
in a good way to let people know what it looks like to stay the course.
Mhm.
But I also know too that I made so many mistakes that I failed my way to that first million.
Right. So this next million, we about to get
So
that in
I'm gonna
like
put a
what,
chokehold
5
on
years?
this money because if you ask me where that first million went, I'm trying to tell you, I have no
Right.
idea. Right? It's all over the place.
No, for real.
But a lot of it was because we didn't keep our incomes coming in.
Mhm.
And the only income we had coming in was the one that we were trying to grow. And we put a lot of pressure on the business to actually grow
Yeah.
because of it, right? But I'm so thankful. Much like Michael Jordan said, I failed over and over again, right, in my lifetime or in my journey here in business. But that's why I've succeeded.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
where do you see yourself? Like how big is your team?
Yeah, so our organization has grown because of amazing people like you and the leadership that you provide. We've grown to over 5,000 people that have joined our organization. Of course, not everybody's active. There's attrition in any business, right? That's
Absolutely.
why we're constantly looking for talent. So if you're looking for a winning
Yeah.
team to be a part of,
Man,
guess
I'm
what? We're
telling
talking
you.
to you today,
You know,
right?
for real.
Listen, come and join a winning squad.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we've grown over 5,000, over 35 states. We've
That's
tapped
dope.
into and have profit centers in, and we want to be in all 50 states, including
Absolutely.
Canada and Hawaii.
Yes,
So yeah, we're working on
absolutely.
that. I just got my first invitation to the British Columbia,
Oh,
and
that's
yeah,
dope.
so the company has us flying, crisscrossing the
I
country.
love
Now,
that.
yeah,
Did you
so
ever expect you
had
to
no
be filing
idea.
across the country to
No, no.
present? Because you are powerful when you
Thank you,
talk.
thank you.
Like every time, you command that presence, and you pour so much
I
into
appreciate
it.
that.
Have you always been like that?
I think there's been glimpses of that, um, and it was the network marketing arena that inspired me. Number one, to come out of the shadows of what I was good at.
Mm.
Right in my environment, I truly believe that if you hang around five mediocre minded people, you're bound to be the sixth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But if you hang around five people who are aspiring to become the best version of themselves, you're bound to be the sixth as well. You won't be allowed to stay in that circle
You will
long if you're
not.
not stretching.
Trust and believe. He will not let me be mediocre ever again.
So, it's difficult to fly like an eagle, right? When you're hanging around pigeons or chickens. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I felt, and it was not a knock to the people in my barbershop or in my barbering life, but this was where they wanted to aspire to.
Yeah.
And it was when I got in network marketing that I could see people who had grown up like me,
Mm-hmm.
and they had situations like mine, and they found an industry that didn't care about your race, your background, your
Yeah.
ethnicity, your education or the lack thereof, right? If you
Right.
had trauma in your past,
Yeah.
this was a way to work it out. And so it gave me permission to start working on me, and then it gave me an environment where I could work on those things
Mm-hmm.
consistently that would help me to build it out. So if you would have told me 20 years ago that I would be speaking in front of thousands of people, I'd have told you were crazy,
No, for
right?
real.
Like we
Yeah.
were arguing at the barbershop, and whoever had the best, that was it.
I
It was
can
10 of
only
us in there.
imagine.
I was U of L and UK games, and who was gonna win, and all the things that we did when we were pontificating in the barbershop.
Yeah.
That was my form,
Mm-hmm.
and but network marketing allowed me to grow and to believe that my message, that I had a unique message that was
Mm-hmm.
specific to whatever group of people that I
Yeah.
was designed and purposed to
That
speak
part.
to, right?
Absolutely.
And it allowed me to have room to be able to grow and and to start to believe that I could do it. Led to ministry and all
Mm-hmm.
the different things,
Yeah.
and most importantly, all the lives that we've been able to touch outside of our house has been great.
Yeah.
But even bigger than that was the fact that we were able to be freed up. And
Mm-hmm.
so often entrepreneurs, right, they spend their lives and they go after all the things that they want to accomplish to do it for their family, but then our families get sacrificed in the process because we don't have time
Yes.
to spend with the people that are most important to us. And I'm so
Mm-hmm.
thankful that this company gave my children their parents back
Yeah.
while they were still young.
Yeah.
So now
Definitely.
they're productive. You were actually sitting in a hotel that my oldest daughter used to help run,
Nice.
right? And because they became professionals and personally developed early on,
Mm-hmm.
they're wise beyond their years, and really the sky is the limit for
Yeah.
what they can accomplish and
Yeah.
whatever they choose to do. And that
Definitely.
means more to me than anything.
Absolutely. And not ones get to experience that. But I know network marketing, people have a bad connotation, but just if you just take everything out, the personal development
Yeah,
that you get far outweighs everything else
absolutely.
because you literally can become the person that you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
And I know I feel like for me, because I've been in since the end of 2019, and just the things that I've done,
yep.
like having a podcast,
That's right.
and now
Yeah.
having a YouTube channel, like there is no way you would ever have said I would have done this.
Yes.
But it's just evolved because of that personal development and being
Absolutely.
part of a team like our team, and then the bigger team, with Mr. Self with TNV. Like when I first got introduced to that, like I remember the first time I met you, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my tribe. This is where I'm supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
I immediately felt that way.
Yeah. Yes. And you've grown so much, right? Like, I mean, I know this is an interview for me, but I'm inspired, right? I watch you with your podcast, and Kanitha and I are looking to launch ours, and I'm
Nice.
excited about that and growing our presence on social media, which
Mhm.
again is a very scary for
Yes.
many people,
Yes.
right? But so what was it for you when you decided to actually take initiative and launch it? Like, what was it that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna stop playing and
You
I'm gonna
know,
just make it happen?
right. So when I had my car accident, Like
Okay.
that really changed everything for me because it made me sit down. I was doing a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
I was busy, but it wasn't productive. And I
Absolutely.
wanted to do things, but I didn't have the right platform to do it.
Okay.
And so a friend of mine that has a radio show, he was like, "You need to have your own show." And I was against it. Literally, I said, "Absolutely not. I don't like my voice." No, I was just throwing everything out there. And he was like, "No, but because of the personal development, it has started to show me different things about myself."
Yeah.
And when I had that moment of where I really couldn't do anything, it was kind of me being by myself.
Yep.
All of those things that I had learned was just like, okay, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And just being able to have a platform that's not for me. And I thought, I was like, this is bigger than I am. And I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
It was like something that I had to do. And it's been an amazing experience. I say it feels like it's like therapy to me. Like I love to talk to people, but just to hear people's stories, to hear their growth and be able to see people, because I bring ones back. I re-interview
You
everybody.
re-interview. Right.
And
Right.
so for people to see the growth, that they need to see that, because sometimes you'll hear from somebody that you never hear from them again.
Agreed.
But
So
like
you have no idea where they've gone.
right, no idea. And so
Uh-huh.
to be able to have that has been huge for me. Like I've
Yeah.
seen people that have expanded their business. One lady rebranded 5 times, and now she's in Walmart. So like if she would have stopped,
Yep.
she would have never got that
there.
opportunity. Just
Wow.
for like you, like if you would not have kept the course, you wouldn't have hit $1 million.
That's right. I never would have met you.
You wouldn't exactly, and we know I'm amazing. No, but it's just
Yeah.
been a great experience, and I cannot wait. Like we're just getting literally, they say we're just getting
For
started.
sure.
No,
No, but it's the
literally,
truth.
we're just getting started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I even feel like now, sometimes we like, why am I not getting things quick enough?
Yeah.
But it's because you're not that person yet.
Come on now. Yeah.
And I really have learned that.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why certain things aren't happening for me, is because
Yeah.
there's still some development that I have to go through.
Yeah.
Because once I get that, I might fumble it. And I can't
For sure.
afford to do that.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
don't prematurely try to get it because it looks good. You have to go through each step in order, because when I achieve it, I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, I've gotten this
Not
and this
just
is great.
attain, but maintain.
I want to
Right.
maintain it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. No, I love it. And that's what our generation speaks to.
Yes.
Right. And I love the brand. I love the logo. I love the red because it's vibrant and it's powerful. And all at the same time, right? It's relatable
Yes.
because that's what your story is. And I think, for me, that's what it is. I heard a quote stated recently that if you don't change your mind, then you will continue to recycle your experiences.
That's good.
Right? If you don't change your mindset, you'll continue to recycle your experiences. And I heard a mentor of ours, Jim Rohn, say, don't go after making $1 million for the money, but for who you will become in pursuit of it. And so when you ask me, like, again, what does it feel like now to be a Millionaire Club member? Well, number one, I know that I had to become the type of person that I could believe in myself enough that it will be possible from one goal to the next.
Yeah.
Right? The million wasn't always in the scope, but from one goal to the next, right? Once I made an extra $1,000, I gave myself permission to make an extra 10,000. And once I made an extra 10,000, I'm like, oh, I probably can make 50,000, right? Because your evolution is going to be step by step. It's not a 100-yard dash, right?
No.
It's not like I get the kickoff and I'm gonna get 100 yards on the return. Like, no, it's cinch by cinch is an inch. I mean, inch by inch is a cinch, right? Is the way they say it. And so who we become, but then as you start to believe for yourself, then you can start to cast vision for others, right? And I truly believe that you have to have a vision big enough for other people to be able to borrow your vision long enough for them to be able to catch a new vision of their own.
Yep. And that's what you've done for me. Like I've stayed plugged in, even when I know that I haven't been, as productive as. Okay, so I think the question where my camera rudely interrupted me. That's the beauty of me being so organic and like just really just like this. Y'all see it. This is what we do.
Listen,
we just go keep. I done had to delete my Pandora so that I could go back and be able to record.
Real
but
talk,
we
right?
was talking about how being successful can be scary, and sometimes it takes big responsibility. So I asked, how did you navigate through that?
Yeah. So again, there's levels to that as well, because at every juncture that you're about to move to the next level of success, oftentimes, right, things will fall apart in order for them to fall in place. And so many times we're afraid of the fall apart. right? So we never get to the fallen place.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's self-limiting thoughts, there are ideas and perceptions of how people are going to view me if I become that person. Like I even wrestle with the notion of should I post, where we received our Millionaire Club watch, right? Because again, I never want to come off as though we're bragging, but I
Yeah.
always want to be the representation of what an inspiration can look like to have somebody grow to a certain place in
Mhm.
elevation. If we can do it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
But mentally, right, those battles subconsciously of do I deserve when you come from a place where it wasn't always given, right? Should I have the ability to travel the world? Because we never traveled when we were growing up. But again, when you replace those self-limiting thoughts with the affirmations of life, like I truly believe that where you grew up doesn't have to be where you end up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's just different when you start to provide the narrative for yourself
Yeah.
that you belong. And then when you have associations that see in you, right? The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I can continue to circle back to you, number one, is because network marketing is progressive.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I had a season where I circled and people trusted and waited on my process, right? But they continue to grow so that you could see their growth.
Mm-hmm.
Same way, my goal was to continue to be at arm's length. So, I'm close enough to you that you could always touch, but I'm far enough away to know that I might leave you if you don't.
Right. No.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. But listen, once you decided that, you see that in another person, my job is now to help to cultivate that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my job to develop that until you can see it for yourself. But you just got to know, like, your associations, have to be chosen because they're either going to pull you up or they're going to pull you down. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Right. And with our organization, Team New Vision, we got a team of dreamers and visionaries and people who are life builders, but they're also accountability partners. Right. And we get a chance to run with the finishers because they're not going to allow, if you allow yourself to be accountable, they're not going to allow you to settle for less.
No, and that's huge. And I talk about that all the time. Your inner circle is so powerful. And it's going to transition and it's going to change.
Absolutely.
Like the people you start with are not going to be people that are going to be in the middle. And then you're going to meet new people that are going to be finishing with you that you thought others would have been there, but they're not. And that's okay. That's the cycle of life.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times people get caught up on, oh, that's my old friend and they feeling some type of way. But if you stay in that, you're going to stay there.
Absolutely.
And I've always been a dreamer. And I've never come across a group of people where I felt like I can dream like that. Yeah. Like other people would be like, oh, that's not, oh, you're going to do, okay. What? You know what? Forget y'all. Like, I'm about to go over here because they said it's possible. Anything I can do, I want to do.
Absolutely. But if people never give themselves an opportunity to break away for just a moment.
Like,
to
all
go
I
and
needed,
experience that part. Right? Yeah. Right? And so, Mr. Self says on, again, all the time, but he said, man, sometimes people would call him a sellout.
Okay, we are back for the third time because my phone is not letting us be great.
Right back at it, right? But we gonna figure out a way to ingenuity. That's what entrepreneurs do, right? But he said sometimes you have to sell out and move out in order to be able to come back and help out. Right? Sometimes you got to remove yourself from the situation and the environment. Look, and let me say this let me get in the camera. Look, I'm talking to you as an entrepreneur, right? That if you look around at your inner circle, right, or the people that are around you and you don't get inspired, you don't have a circle, you got a cage. Right? And you're limiting yourself now because you haven't given yourself the opportunity, the environment to really be able to go and see what that next group of 5 is going to look like so you can become the 6th in that next group, right? And so so that's what we decided to do. And I'm so grateful again that we got around those associations because it allowed us to start dreaming again, starting to believe bigger. And so my handle, one of my hashtags is Thoughts of a Dream Builder, right? So not only is it dreaming now, but it's building the dreams of ourselves and the others who will allow us to help to develop those things.
Definitely. So, and we're going to Jamaica.
And we're going to Jamaica. High five.
I've never, you've been on how many trips?
20 plus.
20 plus, and I'm about to go on this 21. I'm so excited because I remember, and I'm going to tell this because we had Puerto Vallarta, you guys were going, and I remember in January you said, do you want to, because the company always does these team challenges. Yeah. You were like, do you want to be on the team? And my, what's it called?
Consistency.
Yes, wasn't where it needed to be. and I didn't want to be the one to do this. So I was like, no, and
So honored. Yeah.
and y'all won.
And
I
we
was
won.
like, are y'all kidding me? I could have been in Mexico. But I
Have
wasn't.
you ever been? You ever been to Mexico?
I have.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
so-
it's different when it's free.
Yeah, it is. Run that up, tab up. No, but I felt like I needed to become a little bit more who I needed to be. So now, when I did the second, you asked me again, which he didn't have to, people. He could have been like, well, I don't know. Like, are you doing what you're doing? But you trusted and believed in me again. And we won again.
Won again.
And
High five. And we
yes.
are going to Jamaica.
yes, so
Right.
there's still opportunity for y'all to come. Like, definitely join the team. And that's why I needed to have you on, because people see me talk about you all the time. And they're like, okay, we need a little bit more insight on who this person is.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So yes, thank you. So this has been Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And I know y'all been educated, y'all been empowered, and y'all been inspired. So do something with this. Don't just listen to it. Do something to change your life, change your inner circle. If you don't know about network marketing, let us have a conversation with you. Let us show you what is possible. All it is about education.
Education changes situations. right?
Absolutely. Do you have any parting words for the people?
It's changed ours. I just want to let you know, right, truly, that we come from very humble beginnings. And if the story had to be written in the way that the odds were stacked against us, right, and we allowed it to be that way, that's exactly what we've been. But I've got an 11-year-old godson who has his own corporate brand, and it's called Defying the Odds, right? He said he wants to make $1 million by the time he's 18.
Wow.
And I can look at him in the eye because of network marketing and tell him that it's possible.
Absolutely.
Had it not been, graced with the experience to know that there are ways where ordinary people can become extraordinary in a very, expedient time frame. Network marketing showed me that it didn't matter, right, where you were coming from. It just mattered where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And getting around the right people would allow you to be able to do that. So we're defying the odds. And I truly believe, right, that because we've done it, we can now show other people how to do it. And that's the reason why we entitled our organization Living a Legacy, right? Because we truly believe that we're not just leaving a legacy, we're living a legacy. And that's what we get a chance to do with amazing stars like Miss Melissa Shaw and Our Generation. And if you haven't connected with this young lady, you definitely need to. She's going to help you to elevate your platform, whether it's directly with us or indirectly, but you just want to get around this powerhouse. So give her a holler. And thank you so much for honoring me with this interview.
Absolutely.
It means the world to me, and I see greatness in you,
Thank
right?
you.
And we're going to continue to work together until your
Absolutely.
birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.